It's our second group of the explorers and developers to give their project pitches. So we are going to begin with Simon Taylor, who is the executive chairman of Stellar Resources, who their project in Australia. So I will hand over now to Simon Taylor.
Right, thanks for that, Freddie, and thanks for the introduction, and thanks to the ITA for having us here today. We've recently been at the Mines and Money conference in London the last 3 days, and it's really refreshing to come to London and people understand tin up here, and I think that's due to the Cornish metals and Cornish tin guys, and it's in Australia. We have to really explain to people a lot more about the uses of tin, and so it's quite refreshing to come up here, and we've had, I think, 30 meetings over the last 3 days at the Mines and Money conference, which has been fantastic. So we're in Australia. We're in one of the great tin belts in Australia, in the world, near Renison Blue, which is owned by Metals X, which produces over 10,000 tonnes of tin a year. And I'll run you through our project and what we're looking to do over the next 12 to 24 months. Just the disclaimer, cautionary statement. So we're on the west coast of Tasmania. It's a mining friendly jurisdiction there. It was established in the sort of 1890s, 1900s. They used to come into Trial Harbour just to the west on the coast there, and they went inland and found lead zinc deposits, silver deposits, and a lot of that area was mined in those early days, and there was a lot of small towns built through that area. More recently, there's now 5 world-class mines here, tin, copper, gold, and we're looking to be the next producer in this region. We own 100% of the Heemskirk Tin Project. We have granted mining licences. The project will be run off 100% renewable energy. Tasmania actually exports power back to Victoria on the mainland, and there's 100% energy there from both hydro and power, so great ESG credentials. More recently, we've just put out a scoping study about 3 months ago on a resource that was put together last year, and that shows robust economics and has given us a lot of confidence moving forward to start our pre-feasibility study, which is underway. We're doing over 10,000 metres at the moment. We've got 3 rigs going, and we're looking to not only increase the resource, but also look to extensions to that resource, because we think we're in a fantastic tin system there, as you see at the Renison mine up the road. We're very well backed. We've got over $11 million in money at the moment to do all our work. We'll be able to do all our pre-feasibility. We'll be able to do all our extension work, and we'll still have about $3 million in the bank in 12 months' time to move forward. I won't talk about tin today. We'll leave that to the experts, and we've heard from Tom and Freddie, and I think done a fantastic job, and I'll leave the experts to give you the predictions on tin. We think we're in a great place to be positioned as we move forward in the looming forecasts, and really happy to be involved in a commodity that has got a great future. Just quickly on our corporate slide. The company's been around for about 10 or 12 years with this asset, and really has never had the money or I guess the people to drive it forward on the corporate side. Myself, I'm a geologist, and Andrew Boyd, who's here with me, is a geophysicist who we've both worked together prior to this in Africa for about 10 years and found a gold deposit, which we sold to B2Gold about 2 years ago. We saw this asset. We know some of the shareholders. They invited us to get involved with the company. We came on the board, and we've pretty much changed the board and brought in the old team that we work with in Africa. So we've got a great board. We've brought in some key management people, mining engineer Andrew Doe and Ben Pearson, our environmental specialist. And more importantly, to do this, we've now got the funding to be able to move forward, and we've attracted some good shareholders there in funds, Nero, Paradise, Regal, billion-dollar funds that have come in and now own about 35% of the company. And you've heard from some of the other speakers today, and it's about having the funds to be able to move these projects forward. And we've got a really good runway now to get on and do all our work and get the pre-feasibility study done. There is some broker research on our website, which you can see from Taylor Collison. And we're capped at about 42 million, and really looking forward to applying those funds as we move forward. So just zeroing in on Tasmania itself and why we really like the belt, you can see a series of mines here that I talked about earlier, and most importantly is the Renison Tin Mine here, which is a joint venture between Metals X and Yunnan Tin. That was started in 1968 with a 4 million tonne reserve, and 50 years later it's still going with a 15-year mine life ahead of it. So these are big systems. There's a granite sitting underneath Renison and Zeon where we are that's driving the system and bringing the fluids in with the tin mineralisation. So we see a lot of growth potential on our project, and we've got as I said, we've got the funding to move ahead on that. As I said, we've got secure tenure here. It'll be a low environmental impact mine. It'll be an underground mine. We're looking to potentially put most of the material back down the mine, and we've just announced this week actually that we've done a deal on some ground just to the south of the project, which sits in here between the Avebury nickel mine and our project, with an existing area that has had an old lead zinc deposit on it. There's an existing tailings dams there, ROM pads, waste dumps, and we're looking to throw that into the one of the options for the pre-feasibility study. So the pre-feasibility study will be looking at building a standalone deposit mine and processing plant actually right where the project is, or just to the south, and there's a bitumen road here that heads down to that project. Similarly, there's a bitumen road that heads all the way back out of the project and heads 150 kilometres to the north to the port of Burnie, and that's where our concentrate will be taken to and put on the ships and most likely head off to smelters in Asia and China, and that's where the Renison guys send their their product to. So we're looking at lots of development options. Our resource is sitting at about just under 80,000 tonnes of contained tin at just over 1%, which is a high grade resource globally. Just under half of that is in the indicated category, which is here. And what we've done recently in our scoping study is to throw just the indicated resource, which is just under 40,000 tonnes into the scoping work, just to have a look at the economics of that. And we can have a look at that now. Just before that, where we rank globally. It's the highest grade underdeveloped project in Australia and third globally. You can see a lot of projects through here. These are all the underdeveloped projects based on measured and indicated resources. And obviously Stella sitting in here. We're looking to obviously upgrade a lot of that inferred resource. There's about 40,000 tonnes there, and move that into the indicated category, and obviously move this bubble to the right and hopefully increase the grade as well. So the scoping work that was done about 3 months ago was really a base case. What does this look like if we just put in the indicated material? And on the right-hand side here, you can see our conceptual mine plan. And if you look at the red and the yellow, the red areas that are here, which are in the top of what we call the Queen Hill deposit, and the Severn deposit over here, is what has driven our economics in our MPV, etc. So none of the yellow areas here are in the modelling at this stage. So that's where our upside is as we move forward. The mine itself will be a portal off the side of a hill, decline into the deposit, and we'll mine out the Queen Hill first, and then drive across and mine out the Severn deposit on the eastern side here. So what did the MPVs look like and the economics? So we had a 12-year mine life from just the red areas. If we were to throw all the yellow in there as well, and which we did in a schedule, it gives you about a 23-year mine life. But obviously we would look to increase production rate and obviously produce more tin annually. So 12-year mine life, low capex. One of the beauties of where we are is we can tap straight into the grid power. It's cheap power in Tasmania, 10 cents a kilowatt hour, Australian cents that is. We've got infrastructure, we've got roads, we've got workforces, and then as I said earlier, this is a mining jurisdiction where they are looking for more mines to get underway, and the capex is very, very attractive. What's also really attractive is our all-in sustaining costs. So we've been talking about tin prices today in 28,000, 30,000, 40,000. We can produce a tonne of tin and sell it for $18,000. And that basically includes mining it, processing it, as I said, putting it on a truck to the port, shipping it to a smelter. That includes a 8% smelting fee in there. It includes all the royalties and taxes. So we see this as a very competitive project that can withstand lower cycle tin prices and obviously make really good money in higher cycle tin prices. So the goal is obviously to increase this resource, make it bigger. We've got 3 rigs going. As I said, we've announced some first drilling results from that program, and I'll show you shortly. And the other part of the plan here is to look at ore sorting and increasing met recoveries. So there was a lot of work done here 4 or 5 years ago on some of the met and the ore sorting, but not enough was more bench scale work. And I'll show you some ore sorting results and what we're looking to incorporate into the project. Just a quick schematic on what it would look like. The top of that ore body, I said, where we're coming into the side of the hill and into the top of the ore body is about here. This is what we call the Queen Hill across here, and the 2 ore bodies dip back towards the top of the page underneath this area. And you can see the Trial Harbour Road here, which is a bitumen road, and the process plant. And then this is one of the options, is to build a standalone here. And one of the other options, as I mentioned, is to come another 2 kilometres down this road to an area that we've just signed an MOU on, and we're looking at potentially reusing infrastructure. So not only using reusing infrastructure, but also renewable power here, which will be seen very favourably by the government, etc. Just a quick early look at some of our drilling results that we've been putting out to the market in the last month or so. This is the Severn deposit, which is the larger of the 2 deposits, which was on the right-hand side of that mine schedule that I showed you. And you probably can't see, but there's a black line here, outline. Everything in with that black line is the indicated category that was used in the scoping study. Everything outside that black line is inferred resource, which was not used in the scoping work. And we're really pleased that with our drilling success, you can see a hole down here outside the main zone that's reported 21 metres at almost 2% tin, which is a fantastic number, high grade, and we're getting up to, I think there's some 1 metre zones in there going 7% tin. So there are some very high grade some very high grade material here. And we're looking at 10,000 metre program at the moment, and with 3 rigs going. The other thing we're doing at the moment is re-looking at the geological modelling. We're putting a lot of work into that, and we're also looking at some downhole electromagnetic surveys, which are going to start next week, and that will be looking at the peripheral parts of the deposit where we put probes down. And the reason we're excited about doing that is that the intersection that we put out recently, which is on the right-hand side here, had a lot of material in it, the sulfide called pyrrhotite. And pyrrhotite stands out when you put probes down holes. You're looking for where the pyrrhotite mineralisation is associated with the tin, with the cassiterite. And it hasn't been done on this project at all, and yet we're sitting 18 kilometres south of a mine that's been going for 50 years, and the work's never been done here. So we're excited about doing that work. This is a cross-section through the deposit. That's the top of the hill that I talked about earlier. This is the Queen Hill area. This is the Severn area. And all these blue areas are areas that have not been put into our study yet. So that's all the area we're trying to upgrade now to put into the pre-feasibility study. And what we'd like to do is convert, if we can convert half of this or more to the indicator that's really going to drive our economics and give us a better NPV as we're moving forward. I touched on ore sorting earlier on. We know Renison up the road from us has very successfully incorporated Renison into their processing, which they have at the front end before it goes into the plant. And obviously, with ore sorting, if you can get rid of a lot of the waste, which you haven't got to put through your processing plant, you're going to save a lot on your processing costs. And this is some work that was done in 2017, 2018, just bench scale work. We've sent another 100 kilos off in the last month. We're doing a lot of ore sorting work at the moment, but very quickly it's about putting a certain feed into the top of the ore sorter, and then it comes across on a conveyor belt, cassiterite, which is the mineral we're after here with the tin, is very, very dense. So it's looking for high dense rock as it goes through the scanner. And then you have a high pressure jets of air that actually pick out waste and pick out the ore. And it ends up in two separate bins. And you can see down the bottom here, we end up with doubling the grade, and yet we've got rid of over half the waste. So we could mine at, say, 700,000 tonnes per annum, but still put it through an ore sorter and only have to have a 350,000 tonne plant, which is obviously going to keep your capex down, and you're going to produce twice as much tin, which will be a favourable outcome. So just very quickly on our timeline, we've obviously come in, we've recapitalised the company, we've got it funded, we've got drilling underway, we've got ore sorting underway, we've got met testing underway at the moment. We're looking to have our pre-feasibility study out in the second half of next year, and a new resource next year. So thanks very much for your time, and thanks, Freddie, for having us here at the conference.